Thank you, JP and Grace. I never knew you could sing that well, JP. That was a delight. So I'm sure your dad would have been proud.
Sings really well in the truck.
There you go. I'm going to ask Ross at this time if he could come and share some memories.
No.
Hello everyone. I was incredibly lucky and blessed to have a chance to live with my grandma and grandpa when we moved here from BC to Ontario. And I have a lot of memories with them. We lived on this big farmhouse in Trafalgar Road. He was usually the first guy to greet me when I got home from school every day. We had a big long driveway that came up from the road to our house, and he was usually in the yard doing stuff and finding things to set on fire. Usually leaves. It was usually leaves, but it was, and would always walk up to the big pile of leaves burning and say, "Hey there, son, how's it going?" "Oh, I'm good, Grandpa." And we talk about my day at school and stuff like that. And yeah, it was a really just a fun time. I have a lot of memories of him sitting in the sunroom doing his word searches, and I'd often go in there with him playing my Game Boy, and sometimes I'd do a word search with him or two, and we'd sit in there and we'd have a lot of nice conversations. It was really nice. And yeah. And after we left the farm, Grandma and Grandpa, they had this beautiful property in Port Elgin. And I know she put a lot of work into it, and it was just a really fun place, and we'd hang out there. Me and my brother would hang out there every March break and every summer, and we had so much fun. And I know my brother has a lot of great memories of him. We'd sit in his room and he'd show us all his coins, his collectible coins. He had a lot of really, really cool, rare and special coins, and we just loved sitting with him and talking with him, watching hockey games with him, swimming in the pool, and yeah, I had so much more written down, but it's just, I'm glad I have these memories with them, you know, because I really miss them. And I'm gonna miss him. I miss him right now. And speaking on behalf of Zach, he couldn't be here today. He lived with Grandma and Grandpa in Port Elgin for a while, and he had a lot of great memories of when Grandpa would do his word searches in the garage. Zach would be in there tinkering with wood and tools and stuff like that, and they would have conversations. And Grandpa, he always gave us these little life lessons about, you know, like the proper way to give a handshake and how to be a man's man. And I'll never forget that. He always drilled that into our head. Stiff finger at the table. And yeah, that's what I love about him, man. And yeah, God, I miss him. The Regimatic, that's what I call him. The right, he never gave up, you know. His iron will. I love him so much, and I'm gonna miss him so much. And yeah, once again, I cherish these memories. And yeah, rest in peace. Love you. I'll ask Tyler to come up and say a few words now.
All right. Well, yeah, thank you for having me up here today. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to speak. Not only on behalf of myself, but all the grandkids. A lot of what I have to say actually mirrors what Ross has to say as well. We share a lot of memories, and we grew up together. We were fortunate enough that they moved back here early in their childhood and ours, so that we could share a lot of these memories together. But over the last little while, I've had a chance to speak with a lot of the other grandkids including my siblings, and kind of go over our memories of our grandfather. And I hope to share some of those today and kind of some of the life lessons that I've derived out of them. So I have prepared something because I'm typically not very good at reciting things from memory, so I'm going to read a little bit off my sheet. But whether you're here today in person or watching this after the fact online, we thank you for your support and being here. I know a lot of my dad's close friends are here. It's awesome to see. We're grateful for all of your time and all of the kind words that we've received over the past few weeks. I know our grandfather, Reg, would be overwhelmed to see everyone here today, even with the limited numbers that we're able to have. But I know he'd also be a little bit unsure when we said we'd be streaming this after the fact over the internet. I'll be speaking on behalf of not only myself, but Grace and Jackson, Danielle, who's out west right now, Ross and Riley, Ross who was up here before, but then our other cousins, Zach and Bron, as well as her grandkids, Reg, Cecile's great grandkids, or GG kids, as they like to call them, Mannix and Briar. But whether our memories were shared or were personal to the individual as we were kind of reconnecting over these past few weeks, I definitely began to notice a lot of similarities between all of them. Whether those similarities were persons, places, things, nicknames, or just general themes, they all kind of seemed to paint a picture of who my grandfather was and what made him such a special person in our lives. By sorting through these memories, I can now see the many lessons he taught us along the way, and I hope to share some of them with you. So growing up, as Ross mentioned, my grandparents always seemed to live on properties where we could kind of run around and play and just let our imaginations go wild. The first of those was the farm on Trafalgar Road, and it was definitely a special place for all of us where we were just able to kind of run around and play and be kids. But it felt as though it was its own little world. We could gather and play endlessly, whether we were playing Nintendo in the attic, dressing up as clowns and parading across the yard, or throwing crab apples at our grandpa from what seemed like the world's tallest spruce tree at the time. Definitely provided a lot of shelter, but I think he was a little bit more onto us than we knew. Nonetheless, at this property we were able to just be kids and all the while be very close to our grandparents. Danielle and I, at the time, Grace and Jack were, I don't think, even born yet. So you guys wouldn't remember, but it was definitely a very special place for all of us, I know that for sure. And some of our fondest memories our grandpa took place on that farm. It was there that he showed us how to keep a fire burning 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, even if it meant throwing a little gasoline on there once in a while to keep it going. I could always tell I was getting close when I could smell the burning leaves, and sometimes plastic. But that seemingly eternal fire was a true testament to his work ethic and his determination. With that fire, he taught us the importance of cleaning up after ourselves. Sometimes if we left a toy on the lawn, it would find its way in there. I guess sometimes we do learn things the hard way. But with that fire, he also taught us to always finish what we start, even if we need some help from gasoline along the way. It was also on that farm that he showed us how not to use a chainsaw and a ladder. But once again, from those questionable handyman how-tos, I can now see that he also taught us that cuts, bumps, and bruises are only temporary. You'll always heal, you always learn from your mistakes, and you'll always be better in the end. And even if you cut off your finger, you've always got 9 more good ones to get the job done. He taught us all how to be tough. Walk around, jingling change in his pocket, sorting through rolls of coins at his desk in the basement of the beach house. He would often try to show me his collection of what made each coin valuable. He'd pull out his magnifying glass, hover over at the coins, and point out minuscule imperfections. And although I almost never saw what he saw, I would usually lie and say that I did. I never understood at the time, but he was showing me that attention to detail and the ability to see what others may not is definitely a learned skill. He also taught me that attention to small details can pay off, and sometimes big. But that ability to do so requires patience, persistence, and a keen eye. Now, looking back on all the stories we've shared and my own memories, I realized that our grandpa taught us a lot. It took me longer to realize exactly what he taught us than I would like to admit, but I'm glad to have taken the time to reflect on it and gain a better understanding of how he's impacted our lives. He may not be able to show us how to properly put on a pair of long johns, or that the sink isn't the best place to clean your dirty underwear. But I'll be forever thankful for the influence that he's had on my life and for all the memories that he's been able to provide us with. We'll miss him dearly, and we'll always hold on to the memory of him and the lasting impact he's had. We love you, Grandpa. Thank you.